Please do be seated. As Secretary and Clerk, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to this morning's graduation ceremony. Graduation ceremonies follow a tradition that began in the 15th century, and that tradition has evolved since. Roughly translated, graduation means taking a step. And graduation symbolizes the move of the former student, now called a graduand, into a new role in wider society as a graduate, there to use the talents developed as a member of this academic society. Each graduand will cross the stage and shake hands with the Vice-Chancellor to symbolize their transition to this new role, and we will applaud them for their success so far and in anticipation of their contribution to society in future. At the end of the ceremony, the Vice-Chancellor will formally admit all those who have crossed the stage, symbolizing that each and every graduate is now incorporated into the community of scholars. As new members of this community, as the academic procession leaves the stage, the new graduates will join the procession, and that will conclude the proceedings. During the ceremony, those graduating with higher degrees will have their hood placed on them by the Vice-Chancellor to mark that they have attained the very highest levels of academic achievement. It is now time to begin our formal proceedings, and so I hereby declare the ceremony to be in session and call upon the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ian Martin, to address you. Vice-Chancellor.
Graduands, family, friends, colleagues. As Vice-Chancellor of Anglia Ruskin University, it is my very great pleasure to be here today at your graduation ceremony. This is my first year at ARU, and this autumn's graduation celebrations are the first that I'm fortunate enough to be part of. Firstly, congratulations on reaching this milestone and graduating from your chosen course. Today is not only an opportunity to take stock and celebrate your achievements to date, but to look forward to the multitude of careers that stretch in front of each of you. These careers will undoubtedly be wide and varied, but they will be joined by a common theme that will touch on all of you. That theme is change, and unpredictable change at that. It was the German philosopher Hegel who first commented that the only thing we learn from history is that we learn nothing from history. Whilst he may have been correct in some contexts, there was certainly one he was absolutely wrong in, and that is we have learnt just how lousy we are at predicting the future. Just a few examples of how wrong we can be. 19th century. The telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. Western Union Memo, 1876. The Americans didn't get it right. The Brits weren't much better. The Americans have need of the telephone, but we do not. We have plenty of messenger boys. Sir William Priest, chief engineer at the post office in 1876. We didn't get any better as we came into the 20th century. Thomas Watson, chairman of IBM in 1949. I think there's a world market for maybe 5 computers. We moved to the 1970s. Ken Olsen, who ran DEC, which at the time was the biggest computer manufacturer in the world. There's no reason in the world why anyone would want a computer in their home. No reason. And now, a much more familiar name, Bill Gates, 1981. 640K of RAM ought to be enough for anybody. Point made. But what does this mean for you? I think it means 3 things. Firstly, that the environment you work in will inevitably be very different by the time you retire. Secondly, you're almost inevitably going to fail if you try too hard to predict what that future is. But finally, and absolutely most importantly, both individually and collectively, you have a responsibility to shape that future. Your career will cover the next 45 years or so. That's quite a scary thought. Let's look back 45 years or so and see how much things have changed. You can then begin to imagine what the future might be like. 1970, the Cold War was at its peak, the Vietnam War was raging, and Richard Nixon was the US president. I know this is history book stuff for most of you. There were 2 Germanys, and absolutely no one at that stage could have foreseen this changing peacefully less than 20 years later. The Beatles, you may have heard of them, hadn't yet to split up. Relevant today, only about 10% of the population at most went to university, a figure now nearly 40%. Average life expectancy at birth was between 65 and 68 years. It's now more than a decade later. A gallon of petrol cost around 20p. Actually, it wasn't 20p in 1970, it would have been old money. So 4 shillings. Commercial jet travel was almost unheard of for all but the very rich. Although many of you know my academic background is medicine, as you probably gathered from some of my introductory comments, I also have a real interest in digital technology and computer technology. So let's look at some examples from there. So, the leading computer at the time, indeed the grandfather of the computer that sits on your desk at home, was sold by IBM. Their first model of this computer, which was still being sold in 1970, ran at about 1/200,000th the speed of that very cheap computer you've got sitting on your desk at home. They had a massive 8 kilobytes of main storage. Most of you probably don't even know what a kilobyte is. Unless it's got a gigabyte, you're not interested. The cost of that memory was astronomical. I couldn't find a 1970 price list, but I could find a 1979 price list. Memory in 1979 had just had a major price fall. It went from US dollars 75,000 per megabyte to US $50,000 per megabyte. Now that's a lot, but it's not until you put in context the fact that the memory in the iPhone that I have in my pocket at those prices would cost more than 1.6 billion US dollars. By the time you retire, what $1 billion or $2 billion technology are you going to be carrying around in your pocket? That's the challenge. Just as technology has changed, medicine and medical practice has changed, some cases almost beyond recognition. Almost none of you will have attended a school where a minority of the children were in calipers as a consequence of childhood polio, a fact that is now conveniently lost on those who argue against childhood immunization. The chance of surviving childhood malignancies has increased year on year for nearly 3 generations, and we now have technology to image, assess, and diagnose that would have been unimaginable when I qualified 20 years ago, let alone 50 years ago. In both of these fields, and in many others, these advances are in large part only possible because of the parallel strands of education and research, the 2 things that define a university and define this university. They are why universities are important, and they're why a university education is important, and why you've worked so hard to be here today. Whatever career you enter, make sure you embrace changes and advances, challenging, provoking, implementing new ideas. Do not be so proud as to not recognise the inevitability of change and how it will challenge your own practice. To quote Albert Einstein, whoever undertakes to set himself up as judge of truth and knowledge is shipwrecked by the laughter of the gods. At ARU, we're committed to delivering an outstanding education experience for our students, carrying out research and innovation whose results transforms lives and communities, and working to support the economic, social, and cultural well-being of the communities we serve. We strive to see each of these aspects improve year on year, and this year was no exception, as testified by external surveys and rankings. We had our best ever results in the National Student Survey. The Sunday Times UK rankings placed the education that you've had as amongst the top 20 in the country, and for the first time in our 24 years as a university, we featured in the prestigious Times Higher Global University rankings. That places this, our university, among the top 2 to 5% of universities in the world. You, as our graduates, are a key part of that success, and for that we thank you. Before I close, I'd like to make special mention of your families and friends who provided you with support, moral, spiritual, all too often financial, I suspect, across your education. On behalf of the entire ARU community, thank you for that support. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank the staff across the university who've contributed to so many aspects of your courses, together with our governing board, whose wisdom and guidance has helped shape the university. We all wish you well in wherever your ARU degree takes you. I hope that you continue a relationship with your university in the coming years. Our success and your success are now inextricably linked. Enjoy the day. Once again, congratulations. Anglia Ruskin University would not be where it is today without you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. We now come to the presentation of those receiving awards today to the Vice-Chancellor. And I should explain at this point that each year we have a competition for the loudest applause at one of these ceremonies. Now, for as long as I can remember, it was the nurses and the midwives who won every year. But last year they were beaten by the lawyers. So let's see how they do this morning. I now call upon the Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Dean, Professor Ruth Taylor, to read the names of those who will be presented from the Faculty of Health, Social Care and Education. Professor Taylor.
Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present to you graduates from the Faculty of Health, Social Care and Education. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Acute Care, Sunitha Achandil. Monica Anthony. Martin Christopher Chard. Nicola Jane Clark. Natasha Louise Cook. Lucy Mary Davidson. Paul Russell Day. Bindu Parakamanal George. Tom Alphonse Good. Adatun Elizabeth Hepzibah. Carly Tasha Hill. Jency Joseph. Georgia Norman. Bonnie Louise Slade. Grace Farkey. Dawn Michelle Wapples. Lucy Wise-Bell. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Community Specialist Practitioner District Nursing, Elizabeth Claire Brough. Alison Rachel Cook. Fleur Tanya Coombe. Diane Gifford. Paula Mass. Lisa Louise Smith. Karen Whitelock. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours International Nursing Studies, Itiadu Ulimedu Adawui. Ogechi Oninyechi Adu. Joy Ifanyawi Amadi. Anthony Okachukwu Amanchukwu. Janelle Bashu. Comfort Daniel. Kayode Gloria Durodola. Peter Ogley Edwin. Alaba Tosin Kahindai. Olakunle Thomas Kokumu. Victoria Angel Itachi Madu. Yukari Migita. Elizabeth Modu. Michael Akindili Odesoji. Mercy Oluwadamilo Go. Neka Augustina Okoli. For the award of Postgraduate Diploma International Nursing Studies, Sabaranathan Ramanlingam. For the award of Master of Science International Nursing Studies, Shobha Gatan. Adeobi Princess Ibi. Funmaleo Aniki Kalajeji. For the award of Master of Science Adult Critical Care Nursing, Helena David. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Mental Health, Kerry Amanda Barriff. Tende Madare. Ashiedi Veronica Onwudi. Sam Blessing Sabanda. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Palliative Care, Charlotte Nixon. Carmela Turici. Katie Emma Warby. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Midwifery, also receiving the Zita Killick Award, Karina Aldworth. Angela Helen Berry. Sophia Blackburn. Nancy Bowyer. Rebecca Brewer. Alicia Bruce. Libby Josie Carr. Abby Carter. Claire Rachel Cooper. Sarah Cranston. Also receiving the Dean's Award for the Department of Midwifery, Child and Community Nursing, Karen Louise Fiddis. Abigail Glenmere. Stacey Jane Grant. Eleanor Gray. Michelle Gurney. Grace Emily Gutteridge. Alicia Elizabeth May Hardy. Victoria Louise Hopley. Lucy Camilla Ibbotson. Gemma Jones. Olivia Megan King. Alexandra Lamben. Karen Elizabeth Lawrence. Freya Kia Kim Mace. Ismi Madden. Leanne Christina Mapley. Jessica Joy Meadows. Louise Monk Dalton. Tracy Montague Lotfi. Sophie Louise Morris. Sinead Siobhan Morris. Hayley Partridge. Mercedes Grace Kathleen Pagado. Courtney Patridis. Stacey Pullen. Samantha May Ramshaw. Rosie Reed. Natasha Ellen Robinson. Samantha Rutter. Cheryl Samuels. Kerry Self. Naomi Smith. Sasha Smith. Jodie Sorrell. Elaine Tomaney. Maddie Wakefield. Jennifer Wallace. Claire Wastall. Jessica Welsh. Vice-Chancellor, that partially completes the list of graduands for me to present to you today.
Each year, Anglia Ruskin University makes a number of honorary awards to individuals outstanding in their field of endeavour, who we hope will serve as an inspiration to those of you crossing the platform today. Their stunning achievements should motivate us all by reminding ourselves that we should see our achievements to date but as a starting point. They pose the question, shouldn't we too aspire to success like theirs? I now call upon Denise Thorpe, Director of Human Resources, to read the citation for the award of Honorary Fellow Honoris Causa to Anne Pascoe.
Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to read the citation for Anne Pascoe for the award of Honorary Fellow. Anne Pascoe is a dementia campaigner, carer and founder of Dementia Friendly Communities, a social enterprise that helps families in rural Scotland to recognise and embrace the challenges of life with dementia. When Anne's husband Andrew was diagnosed with vascular dementia in 2006, she became his carer. Yet living in a remote region in the Highlands of Scotland, she received almost zero support. And with only limited understanding of the challenges facing the couple, she felt poorly equipped to help her husband continue to live a positive life. So she decided to take action. Anne decided to establish a dementia-friendly community, a new concept at the time for her small village. And in 2011, she attended the Alzheimer's Disease International Conference in Toronto. It was here that she heard Dr. Amit Dias talk about his strategy of using lay people to identify early symptoms of dementia and carer stress, specifically in rural societies. Anne identified closely with Dr. Dias's work, and she was determined to learn more. The following year, Anne was awarded a 2-month travelling fellowship from the Winston Churchill Memorial Trust. This enabled her to travel with her husband to India to see firsthand how Dr. Dias's care projects were relieving caregiver burden, promoting caregiver mental health, and alleviating behavioural challenges in dementia patients. When Anne returned to Scotland, she was ready to put her learning into practice. Together with a few like-minded people, Anne founded Dementia Friendly Communities, a social enterprise whose aim is to help families affected by dementia to live life to the full. Dementia Friendly Communities, or DFC, quickly attracted strong support from local people, helping to break down barriers and eliminate the stigma that so often accompanies dementia. Other dementia-friendly communities have been established in a growing number of Scottish regions, in Greater Glasgow and Clyde, the Highlands, Lothian and the Western Isles. And DFC is now working to bring the existing Scottish dementia strategy down to grassroots level, making a real and lasting difference to individuals, families and local communities. DFC has won widespread praise and has succeeded in raising awareness of the challenges associated with dementia. Anne was invited to join the Prime Minister's Rural Dementia Task and Finish Group, which has just been awarded a further 2 years of funding to develop a rural dementia charter. DFC is also working in partnership with NHS Highland and Alzheimer's Scotland as one of 5 Scottish Government test sites to trial Scotland's dementia strategy. Anne is an advisor to the Life Changes Trust, a £50 million initiative set to transform the lives of 2 specific groups, young people who are in the process of leaving care and people with dementia and their carers. And most recently, Anne has joined the NHS Highland Board as a non-executive director. Anne has demonstrated remarkable commitment to supporting people facing challenge and disadvantage, something that is very close to our hearts here at Anglia Ruskin. Her work resonates strongly with our own teaching and research in dementia care, and also with our focus on the role of creativity and imagination. For example, in the use of music, art, and dance in treating dementia. Anne will be an inspirational role model for our students. We are delighted to welcome Anne Pascoe to our Anglia Ruskin community. Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present Anne Pascoe for the award of Fellow of the University, Honoris Causa.
By the authority vested in me as Vice-Chancellor, I confer on you, Anne Pascoe, the award of Honorary Fellow, honoris causa. Congratulations from us all.
Vice-Chancellor, honoured guests and students. Not in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine that a university would someday want to give me an honorary award. And here I stand in this strangely surreal situation, thinking thank you is simply not enough. A friend once said to me, if you dealt a lemon in life, make lemonade. 10 years ago, we were dealt the dementia lemon. But today, I can celebrate with you all and drink lemonade. So thank you very much for this. Oh, thank you. Dementia, a word that strikes terror into the hearts of most people over the age of 55, and a word that at your age I'd never even heard of. Certainly my grandparents did weird and wonderful things, and with huge hindsight, I now realize that my one grandfather probably had some dementia issues. He always forgot what day of the week it was, and he called me more often than not Eileen, which was my mother's name, rather than Anne. And he was always losing his glasses, and of course couldn't find them without his glasses, so we were always hunting for them as kids, we were looking for them. But these were things that could easily be attributed to old age. What was a little more worrying was that although we, his grandchildren, visited him every single day, they lived just down the road, he'd constantly complain that he never saw us. He made up stories when he forgot things, which even we realized were sometimes huge, big whoppers. And of course, he said outrageous things at the dinner table, which drove my mother to distraction. But he was our gramps, so it was okay. Statistics tell us that 1 in 3 people sitting in this marquee today will have dementia. That's a pretty scary thought, that either you or the person sitting next to you could have dementia one day. There's nothing we can do right now to stop it. There's nothing we can do to cure it. But there's a lot we can do to support it. But that means change, enormous change, in the way we think, in the way we do things, and even in the way we deal with dementia in general. Government is trying to tackle this, the NHS certainly is, as are the voluntary sector. But it's at grassroots community level that we really need to be making that change. And how do we do this? When I was your age, my grandparents were part and parcel of a big family with aunts and uncles and cousins and grandchildren, all living close by, keeping an eye on them. It's more difficult today with our small families, which are actually global families now, with people scattered all over the country and even all over the world. So it's our communities that have to become our extended families. And it's as a dementia-friendly community that we can reduce the fear around dementia, provide the necessary information, ensure respect and dignity for our older people, and give support to dementia families. Now, that's much easier said than done, of course, but it can be done. I want to tell you a story. In 1995, a man called Joel Stransky kicked a rugby ball over some goalposts with 2 unexpected consequences. Firstly, that drop kick meant that South Africa, against all the odds, won the World Rugby Cup. I think we beat England, that one. But more importantly, that same drop kick had an even more profound consequence. It changed a divided black and white country under apartheid to one nation supporting one team under one flag and singing one anthem. Something very few of us ever thought would be possible. And the man who changed all of that Nelson Mandela. An extraordinary man, and one whom we can all aspire to be, although few of us are likely to emulate everything he did. But all we can do, and all you can do, is try. He said, "Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world." He also said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." The two things that you need to make change: education and belief. Well, today you're graduating, so we know you have the knowledge, you have the education. Now, if on top of that, you believe you can make change, then you have two powerful tools at your disposal, and you can do anything you set your mind to. You truly can. Just go out there and do it. And that's all as teachers and parents that we can ask of you. Thank you.
And thank you. We now continue the presentation of those receiving awards today to the Vice-Chancellor, and I call again on Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Dean, Professor Ruth Taylor, to return to read the names of remaining students from the Faculty of Health, Social Care and Education.
Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to continue to present to you graduates from the Faculty of Health, Social Care and Education. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Specialist Community Public Health Nursing Health Visiting, Gemma Jane Bidwell. Lauren Samantha Clifford. Michelle Catherine Davis. Carolyn Davis. Jennifer Ann Dawson. Kerry Louise Emerton. Amy Louisa Grant. Natalie Ann Hartigan. Sarah Lucy Irvin. Ashley Jade Lonergan. Ella Luterot Kwaku. Stephanie Marie Elizabeth MacDonald. Joanne Louise Reynolds. Rachel Elizabeth Shaw. Nicola Jane Shergold. Naomi Jane Stafford. Deborah Watson. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours Specialist Community Public Health Nursing, School Nursing, Rebecca Elizabeth Tubbs. For the award of Postgraduate Diploma Specialist Community Public Health Nursing, Health Visiting, Lisa Helen Crane. Patricia Mary Mercedal Gray. For the award of Postgraduate Diploma Advanced Community Specialist Practitioner District Nursing, Nicola Jane Cortez. For the award of Master of Science Advanced Midwifery Practice, Susan Jennifer Coltman. Terry Gavin Jones. For the award of Diploma of Higher Education Counselling, Child and Young Person, Timnat Emmanuel. Caroline Fury. Wendy Louise Lavinia Loveday. Shelley Aston Morris. For the award of Bachelor of Arts with Honours Social Work, Simone Abaka Wilson. Ferial Abu Rabi. Winnie Akimu Nyambosaini. Katerina Boakova. Gwendolyn Boone. Stephen Box. Mikala J. Clark. Hayley Cook. Melanie Gibbs. Lauren Guy. Charlotte Hall. Lisa Holiday. Amanda Holmes. Ross Hymas. Magdalena Ikem. Marie Anne Aligui Kameni. Leanne King. Teriro Sharon Kazumba. Lara Lawrenson West. Teresa Lloyd. Adriana Martinkovicheva. Daisy McInerney. Nyasha Meza. Jessica Marie Middleton. Charlotte Jane Morby. Robert Murphy. Patrick Nyamwanza. Tombinzotwa Nyathi. Joseph Nyatsuro. Toluwalapi Karen Olorewaju. Ololade Beatrice Olukunle Akinbogan. Angela Awosu. Brenda Nkandu Piri. Anita Michelle Peters. Diane Pollard. Julie Paul. Paige Charlotte Prescott. Jessica Sharp. Sophie Smith. Louisa Salazzo. Claire Stevens. Georgina Stewart. Sean Tokley. Deborah Wilcox. Ashley Wiseman. For the award of Master of Arts Social Work, Flora Barfor Ewua. Chloe Bond. Ellie Toyenbauer. Amy Bridgeland. Tende Chizangeni. Becky Connor. Thandiwe Lisa Samantha Du. Also receiving the Dean's Award for the Department of Social Care, Susan Hook. Marie Martin. Michelle Mead. Chanda Mulenga. Sylvia Oganwu. Clifford Andrew Ife Olumbi. Ruth Robb. Amy Rogers. Faith Sithal. Chelsea Stockley. Jonathan Paul Stringer. Beverly Swainson. Rebecca Taylor. Gazeel Tembo. Alexandra Tyrrell. Paul Jonathan Wiggins. For the award of Master of Science, Military Veterans and Family Studies, Christina Angela Ball. Ian Barber. Helen Cullen. Pamela Jane Dyson. Mark John Walsh. For the award of Bachelor of Science with Honours International Nursing Studies, Onye Evangeline Osuji. Vice-Chancellor, it is my pleasure to present those who have been awarded higher research degrees. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy, with a thesis entitled Against the Odds, Success and Collaboration in Safeguarding Children, Andrew James Quinn. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis entitled It's a Safe Space, the Role of Self-Harm, Self-Help Mutual Aid Groups, Melanie Jane Boyce. For the award of Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis entitled To Snitch or Not to Snitch, using participatory action research to explore bullying in a private day and boarding school, Neve Patricia O'Brien. Vice-Chancellor, that completes the list of graduands for me to present to you today.
Well, we've been looking at the applause meter, and I have to tell the nurses and midwives that the social workers were louder. We're now nearing the end of the ceremony, but first I would like to ask Karina Aldworth, one of our wonderful new graduates, to come to the podium to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of those receiving awards today. Karina.
Thank you. Vice-Chancellor, honoured guests, ladies, gentlemen, fellow graduates. It is my pleasure to offer the vote of thanks today on behalf of the students graduating at the ceremony. If someone had have told me 3 years ago that I would be standing at graduation in front of my friends, family, peers and educators, I would have scarcely believed them. If they'd have told me I'd have been standing in front of you all delivering the vote of thanks, I would have questioned their sanity. 3 years ago, the long journey that we have all just embarked upon may have seemed an impossible task. There were many trials and tribulations, tears and challenges, late nights of essays, early morning lectures and endless hours of study. However, the sheer determination and strength within every individual before me today and the immense and powerful friendships is what has given the momentum to keep going. Everyone graduating today should be immensely proud of their achievements in reaching this point. We did it. No achievement would have been possible without the unwavering support of lecturers and mentors whose outstanding knowledge and commitment has sculpted the newly qualified professionals we are today. To impart an ethos of care within us so that as the generation before us, we can go forth and develop and continue to pass on that knowledge to students beginning their journeys. As our honorary fellow mentioned, Nelson Mandela said that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Thanks to the support of our lecturers and mentors, we are now armed with that weapon. Of course, it's not just the lecturers who have helped us reach this point. There are countless staff behind the scenes at Anglia Ruskin who have spent the past 3 years assisting us in all manners of queries and support. And to these people, I would like to extend a huge thank you from the entire graduating body. It would be remiss of me not to mention the part our friends and family have played in the journeys to this point. Without the support of the people around us, many of us would still be dreaming, instead of standing here today. We should all be proud to share with our loved ones, those who are here and those who are absent. Anglia Ruskin has brought me into contact with people from all different walks of life, from school leavers to people on second degrees, to mothers and fathers who somehow managed to balance study with family life. It is the rich diversity of students from different backgrounds bringing individual experiences, which is the true strength of Anglia Ruskin University. All that remains to be said then is congratulations to the class of 2016. Thank you.
Karina, thank you. I now call for one final time on the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ian Martin.
And now, will all those who've been presented to me here on the stage please stand? As Vice-Chancellor of Anglia Ruskin University, I hereby admit you to the degrees, diplomas and awards for which you have been presented to me today. As a member now of the community of scholars, take all that you have learned into society and uphold the values of freedom and thought and scholarship. Our warmest congratulations to you all. Your friends and family and supporters have done you the honour of applauding each of you as you've crossed the stage. Could you now return that honour by turning to face them and returning the applause? Once again, congratulations.
Shouldn't have sat down. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the ceremony, and I declare the proceedings closed. Will you please now all stand for the academic procession?